Okay, well, Coach, talk about first tournament action of the year heading to Las Vegas. I think 5 or 6 games. What are you hoping to get out of this tournament? And you're trying to get your lineup set, your pitching down. What do you look for in this tournament?
Our ultimate goal is to make the postseason, right? The postseason tournament. I think to make it to a regional tournament, you need to win 40 games. And these games count. We don't have a lot of regional opponents, but they all count. They always say it's what's the adage, right? You can't win the season the first month, but you can lose it. So we want to be as competitive as we can. So I don't see this as a tournament where we're probing to find our starting lineup. I think we know our strengths. We want to leverage those strengths. We want to be competitive right out of the gate. So.
Do you have pitching right now off the bat that can get you through this? You think, or
right now we've got 6 kids throwing, right? So it's a real mix and match situation for us. It's about I think executing game plans and scouting reports and trying to leverage our strengths against opponents' weaknesses, that kind of thing. So it's really going to depend game to game. I do feel good about the progress the kids have made in terms of pitch design and conditioning and gaining velocity and things of that nature. But we're still unproven until you get out there and actually do it. It's hard to see exactly what we have.
What's impressed you about when you've been getting to know the girls here? Obviously, you didn't recruit all of them because you're brand new. So, I mean, what's just really stood out?
No surprise, but I think the work ethic. I just like the kids we have, just their makeup. Kind of no drama, no nonsense. They put their nose to the grindstone, and they really want to get better. So incredibly coachable and teachable. It's been a blast so far. But I get in the building about 7 a.m. and I'm looking forward to practice. Every day, just because of their demeanor and just that will to improve. Right? They love the game. They love their teammates. And they want to get better. So they have high aspirations, and that's exciting to come to work every day. Just be surrounded by that energy.
How fast can you guys develop one of the better pitching staffs in the conference? Just within context, I talked to one of your recruits, and she said she could even pitch it right away next year.
Mm-hmm. I think, obviously last year, our numbers weren't great in the circle, and we've got 2 kids that are coming out of retirement, basically. One hasn't pitched in 3 years. She's learning how again. So that's where we are. Those are the cards we're dealt. We always talk about controlling the controllables. What we can do with that situation is we can get better. We can game plan better, do a better job with our pitching, scouting, that kind of thing for hitters, and try to game plan, and then also try to create contrast in our staff. So, we don't have that, that all-American stud that's going to go out and throw 70% of our innings and dominate week in, week out. But we do have kids that have different skill sets and different types of pitches, and so really for us it's going to be more about matchups and mixing and matching.
Who are some of the players you're going to have to rely on early on?
Obviously Zoya Robbins is a kid, as our first starter, and she's coming in as a sophomore this year. I think she's aged right in terms of wisdom and maturity over the last 12 months. I think she's in a really good place right now. She's throwing well in practice, so we're gonna rely on her in the circle. Carly Coughlin, another preseason kind of player to watch in the conference. She's she hit close to 400 last year. She's an all-conference kid. We're going to rely on her to be the best version of herself at the plate, and then she threw I think 2/3 of an inning last year, but she's going to throw a lot for us this year. And I thought she looked great yesterday in practice. I'm excited about what she could do given regular opportunities to start. And then we've got a couple kids that have to get healthy, but I think offensively we have good speed. That's a strength for us. I think Kira Schwalk is a kid that I think has a potential to come back and be really important for us in lead off spots, stealing a lot of bases. There's a lot of ways to impact team offense. I think it's getting on base, stealing bases. We don't have a lot of just big power hitters in our lineup. We've got a couple. So really, we're going to be a very balanced offense. And I think we just have to be opportunistic and really play hard every pitch and take advantages of what we can.
Maybe more of a long-term question, but coming from Augustana, they're a powerhouse. What does the process look like to maybe get to that level or close to that level?
Yeah, that's a great question. Something to think about every day. Tell the kids I know what it looks like. I know what I want it to look like on a day-to-day practice level. Obviously recruiting some of it, right? Augustana is incredibly talented, and we're trying to add talent. I think like all the programs here, so that's part of it. Then also just the way we do things on a day-to-day basis, the way we play catch, just having really high standards for doing the little things right. I think that's been one of the highlights so far, is the way the kids have bought into that process. I feel like we are playing a good brand of softball right now. I'm eager to see that show up. So I think it's culture, right? We talk about that all the time. It's culture is something that you're living in and breathing in every day. I feel really good about that part. One thing we do frequently is do process scrimmages where we're measuring, not runs, but how fast we get out to our position. Are we getting hitters out in 4 or fewer pitches, things like that. Pop time, just playing the game fast, playing it right, backing up hard, and those are the things the kids have really bought into. I just like how we look right now, day to day, both in scrimmages and practice. So I'm eager to see how it stacks up against the Augustanas of the world. So I don't know if we're there talent-wise yet, but I think we're moving in the right direction culture-wise.
And then you talk about your offense, your pitching. Defensively, do you feel you have the players there to back up your pitching?
Absolutely. I feel really good about our defense. Just team speed, getting the balls. I think, in terms of fundamentals, I think we've grown. I think we're more sound that way. Last year, I think, we probably threw 10% base runners out, maybe a little less. I feel much better about our ability to control the running game this year, control the short game. And we have great speed in the outfield. I think we've gotten a lot faster, both with our new kids coming in, and we've actually done a lot of work on running. We've shaved a tenth of a second off a lot of steal times this year over the course of the year. So we're going to cover ground. I think we're going to play hard every pitch. And again, if we can change speeds, hit spots, and make hitters uncomfortable, I think we have a chance to. Our goal really was to cut our ERA in half, and I think we have a chance to do that.